Hello and welcome everybody to the Fargone Racing GT Challenge Season 23. We are here for round number 2. We are at the Brands Hatch circuit here in the United Kingdom. It is going to be an absolutely fantastic night of racing ahead of us. It is the first super sprint round of the season, so get around it. These are always the most eventful rounds of the season in the GT Challenge. 2 sets of tyres over 3 races, and it used to be 3 very short races. However, over time it's evolved, and now the races get longer and longer as the night progresses. We have a 15-minute race 1, 18-minute race 2, and then a 25-minute race 3, by which point the tyres will be absolutely screaming for help, and all of that is accompanied by qualifying between each race, 5 minutes long, and you cannot slip up on your qualifying laps. The effects of that would be absolutely dire to your tyre life. So it is going to be critical for these drivers to get it together, keep it together, and keep it on the road. I am Lindsay Model in the commentary box. Unfortunately, I'm not joined by anybody tonight, so you'll be just along with me here for the ride on the Sensational TV channel. If you're coming along from one of the other broadcasters, I think they're still running Rangy at the moment. That could have ended. It started a while ago, and the iRacing GT Challenge might still be running as well. But if you are jumping over across from one of those streams at the moment, feel free to come in, say hello in the chat, and get around it. I love to interact with everybody in the chat when I have a solo comms, even when I don't have a solo comms. Just get around it. I love to be around it. Small little racing community here in Fargone. It produced some cracking racing, but also I've had some pretty cracking conversations with the chat over the years. At the moment, we're currently looking at Justin Griffin on their first out of, I believe, only 2 qualifying laps they should get in this session in the Nissan GTR, a car that struggles around this circuit, struggles around a lot of circuits, but it is still very quick. It's just going to be a very hard beast to tame around Brands Hatch. A very small circuit, a very agile car required, realistically, to go really fast around here. The Nissan is not one of those things, but it has a lot of horsepower, so maybe he can make it up on the exits. And as well, I think it's a wild card in play from Andrew Long, and he has 70 kilos off of ballast, which is, well, insane. So hopefully Andrew Long is clear, but I say that, and Justin Griffin goes to the top of the timing tower ahead of Andrew Long with a 1 minute 23.442. So now, as they make their way through the second lap, Andrew Long is going to be feeling the pressure as they round through this lap, as they round through up into Surtees now, as they flick it up the hill. Keep the car wide, take the late apex, get the power down, really bumpy on the exit, and the truck runs away from you as well. The corner tightens the whole way through. It makes it very deceptively tricky. Now running down the hill and towards the fast right-hander, and that is absolutely committed there from Andrew Long. 4 tenths up as they head towards the final bit of this racetrack. They have one more really fast right-hander to go as they head up through Sheen Curve, now into Sterling's, and then towards the Clark Curve final corner. So this is going to be the lap to decide. Actually, no, one more lap left in qualifying here for Andrew Long. 30 seconds still left on the clock. So he has one more, but this will be comfortably to the top of the timing towers, finally opening up that McLaren 720S with its ballast absolutely nowhere to be seen. And 4.5 tenths clear of Justin Griffin, who also improved. Now let's take a look further down the field. Let's look at Stephen Rees. He has a different livery on tonight. Well, he told me that the livery pack changed his livery a bit. To be honest, my memory is not good enough to really notice the differences there. But it looks fairly similar to last time out. Still struggling in the Rita, and because of some ballast issues in the server, he's not been able to do any single lap of practice before this race, if I'm not mistaken. So as he crosses the line, that will be it for Stephen Rees. A P9 for him. Justin Griffin still finding time, 2 tenths, but they need to find 4.5 tenths, and Andrew Long is still on a lap up the road. This is going to be absolutely sensational stuff here at the end of qualifying 1 of 3 here on this Tuesday night as they make their way through the final sector into Stirling's. Now the run towards the final corner. It's wide. That's a huge error from Justin Griffin. Meanwhile, Andrew Long soaks up the pressure, and with a 2/10 improvement, he's going to cross the line. No, it's a 1/10 improvement. He's going to cross the line to secure pole position here in race 1 with a 1 minute 22.660, putting the extra lack of balance of performance applied to his car. That is incredible. Minus a bajillion kilos onto pole by 6 tenths, taking advantage of the situation he's given himself. That sensational driving there is now. We will head into race number 1 in just a moment. We just got to wait for the server to tick over, as will be... Well, I was going to say be right back, but it ticks over pretty quickly here in these Super Sprint events because you don't need to change over the server. It just ticks automatically. So let's run through the final qualifying order. Cool track as well, 22 degrees track temp, 17 degrees in the air. Andrew Long on pole position from Justin Griffin, and then Hoggy and Bartoletti on the second row. And now I do have an apology to make to James here in 5th. I was mispronouncing their name, and I'm going to probably continue to do so. They did send me how to say it, but to be honest, struggling to wrap my brain about it, around it. So, hold on. Alexandre, I think, if I'm correct now. Hopefully, that is right. Apologies if it's not. I'll get it. I'll definitely get it right heading into the future. I was going to ask them before the race, but I kind of got wrapped up in some other stuff pre-race preparation. So 2 minutes until we get underway here in Brands Hatch for a fantastic race, and I'm really excited how this is going to go. For those of you in chat, put in your predictions. How do you think this is going to go here in race number 1? Is it going to be Andrew Long to victory with the minus bajillion kilos of ballast, or is it going to be Justin Griffin overtaking into turn 1 and then using the Nissan straight line speed to make the difference? So, beyond Alexandre, it's MJ, then Speed Racer, then Tim Bradley, then Stephen Reese, then Demon Boost, then Swooper, then Osuch, then Tobasai, then Broads, then Lee, and Lee Perkins. So 30 seconds until we get underway. So you can hear the engines firing up, getting ready to go. So here we go. They're rumbling away and getting ready to go racing here in Brands Hatch for the first time tonight. It is Andrew Long taking it away from Justin Griffin as it's a long run to the line here in Brands Hatch. But for the second time this season, for round number 2 of Brands Hatch, the green flags are ready to fly, the green lights are ready to illuminate, and we're underway for racing action as they head down into turn 1. Justin Griffin trying it now on the outside of Andrew Long. The leaders are going wheel to wheel now as they head into the turn 2 hairpin, as they head into Druids. Is it going to be Justin Griffin pressuring for the lead? No. They lose out to Andrew Long, who now has to try and extend the gap here in race 1. 15 minutes this one as they now dive through the rest of the lap here at Brands Hatch. Hoggy now trying to put some pressure on to the Nissan GTR. Overtaking is not going to be easy here at this circuit. It's never been easy, let alone with a Nissan GTR sitting in front of you. In the case of Hoggy, that makes it even more difficult because it takes up about 3/4 of the track. So MJ under a bit of pressure as well. Speed Racer sitting in comfortably tucked in behind them. Meanwhile, Chris O'Such as well under a bit of pressure, but also putting some pressure on, but nearly side by side with Broads there. Here into the final sector, Justin Griffin under a lot of pressure here from Hoggy, who's not really letting it go, not really letting this one up. Meanwhile, Alexandre is trying to make inroads towards Bartoletti, but falling back here on the opening lap and falling into the clutches of MJ, who's also under a bit of pressure from Speed Racer. So as we round out lap 1, Andrew Long leads us away by 7.5 tenths of a second, putting that McLaren to good use here in Brands Hatch. What a circuit, what a car to take around this circuit as they continue on, as Hoggy taking different lines already, applying the pressure on to Justin Griffin, who will be feeling that pressure in a very difficult car to drive. This is going to be a difficult night of racing, especially with the super sprint format. With the tyre wear, the Nissan not good on its tyres, but here in race 1, if Justin Griffin wants to do anything, they have to do it now. This is when the car will be at its peak of performance. Low temperature, fresh tyres. This is going to be an interesting battle. Griffin closing in despite that McLaren having minus 70 kilos. This is going to be an interesting fight to say the least, as Andrew Long letting some of the mistakes creep in here only on the second lap of this race as they dive up the hill, now right back down it into the penultimate corner. Now the run towards the final corner as they head towards Clark Curve. What is the gap going to be as they cross the line? That's the question. As car 46 is slow, that's Speed Racer who's had a moment. We're going to have to grab the replay here. Not a driver. You want having a moment. Normally right in the thick of it, fighting here in the top 6 as they head through. Do they just clip the grass on the outside? No, or is it as they head up the hill? This is a Sheen Curve, a little bit wide, outside grass, and just overcorrects it and loops it. And MJ had a moment as well. So a couple of moments up and down the field in those BMWs. And yeah, that is really easy to do here at Brands Hatch. One of the easiest mistakes to make. As, yes, Matty, Longy did play a wild card to make his McLaren ridiculously OP here in the second round, but he's used a wild card early, so definitely could have further championship implications as they head deeper into the season using it this early, but picking up a few race wins potentially here in Brands Hatch could be the play. As Tash asking, how come Steve-O has a grey badge? That is because, well, his car can't particularly keep up, so he's not going to have the white badge or Pro Class badge. I'm not sure. It should be Pro Class, usually, here in ACC. So he's jumped himself down to silver because his car can't particularly keep up. But speaking of Stephen Rees, despite that, and despite no practice laps, Steve-O isn't particularly putting up a bad fight. Currently sitting in 8th, so at the exact halfway point in the grid. And yeah, this is going to be interesting now. Steve is going to have to get into the groove. They're going to have a long shot of chasing Tim Bradley, but you'd say it's unlikely with, well, that boat underneath him. As Justin Griffin falling away from Andrew Long and now back towards Hoggy. So we're going to go on board now with the Ferrari man as he makes his way around the circuit and up the hill in towards Surtees. Now through the exit right down the hill as they head down the Pilgrim drop. And then into the very high-speed Hawthorn's right-hander. This is going to be a pinch point, I think, throughout the rest of the night as the tyres get more worn here in the Super Sprint, especially with the longer races this season. However, I think Steve... Oh, that's wide there from Hoggy. That could have been a problem. Steve-O has been quite nice for the first Super Sprint of the season. He's increased the race distances, which should, in theory, create some issues, but he's made the temperatures quite cool. So 2 sets of tyres over the 3 races, longer races than old Super Sprint formats, increasing in distance per race, but cool conditions should help most of these cars keep their tyres in check anyway. It's Hoggy on the grass down the straight there. Potentially a lapse in focus for the Ferrari driver. As that's now he's wide at turn 1. So really struggling here and dropping off the back of Justin Griffin. All the while Justin Griffin drops off the back of Andrew Long. So the leaders spacing out. Meanwhile, Perkins seems to be in a little bit of a battle here with Demon Boost in front. Let's go and watch this little battle ensue as they make their way around the lap. Demon Boost in the Ford Mustang. The Nissan GTR filling the rearview mirrors behind. Perkins not afraid to get the elbows out. As you can see, Perkins pushing the car quite hard. Oh, Fabian's in the chat. Am I still showing up tomorrow night? That's a great question, Fabian. I completely forgot about the Wednesday Cup, but all the while, Lee Perkins showing the nose on the outside. Surely not at this fast right-hander. He's going to try and force it wheel to wheel with Demon Boost as they head down the hill. Now into the next right-hander they go. Surely not side by side. It's a pinch point at the circuit at the best of times. Demon Boost wide on the grass as they head through Westfield Corner, and that was a brave move from Lee Perkins, getting the move done. That was certainly aggressive, but it was fair. It was hard but fair, but now he's made a mistake, and now up towards the final corner they go. Demon Boost is going to take it right back, but here comes Perkins, late on the brakes as ever. Now onto the straight they go. They're both slipping and sliding on the exit of the corner. Now they're going to be drag racing as they headed towards turn 1. Will it go side by side? No, it won't be side by side. Down through Paddock Hill Bend. Perkins now does finally hold on to the place as we have a car slow out on the circuit. It's Jason Lee who's had a moment, so let's take a look at the replay. What has happened here behind the wheel of this Nissan GTR? Oh, a little bit of a snap there, but that's not the moment. Maybe dropping it on the exit. Yeah, Lee Perkins nearly did that. We saw it a moment ago. The Nissan clearly a bit understeery at the penultimate corner. I'm the only one who can't hear the cars. Oh no, what have I done? It's showing up as showing for me. Hold on. Yeah, I mean, there should be car sounds. I don't know what to say. On my mixer, it's showing up as they're there. Hold on, let's go. Let's go on board. Let's see if you can hear it when I go on board. So we'll go on board with Justin Griffin as Andrew Long drives up into the distance. Can we hear the cars? That's better? Okay. I didn't even do anything to it. Oh well. There, but very quiet. Okay. Hopefully. Yeah, okay. Should be all good. I didn't even change anything. Oh well. We move. Yeah, Fabian, to answer your question, I'm not sure. To be 100% honest with you. Simply because I completely forgot about it. I don't know if I can even make tomorrow. I think I'm working, so I will let you know. I might jump in and do some Too far away from the car to hear. Yeah. The off-board sounds on this game are pretty atrocious. What do you mean they're GT3 these cars? Oh yeah, these cars. Yeah. Fabian, I'll come in and do some practice with you tonight if you want to get around it after the broadcast. I'll come pump in some laps, see if I can get to grips with the circuit again. Because believe me, I've been studying my lap. I have my lap on the recording from pre-season. However, you guys have had a few rounds now, so you have no excuses. You guys should be beating me. I've done one pre-season in the car, and you guys have done 2 rounds. Oh, my mic filter didn't do its job there. Alright, I saw all of that go through the mic. Anyway. Yeah, Longy, unexpectedly, is absolutely gone with his minus 70 kilos. Actually, we're going to go on board here with Longy in one of the last laps of this race. And just what? This car has got to be the most gripped up race car in the world. Minus 70 kilos. Well, at least the most gripped up McLaren 720S in the world. It should be having no complaints with the weight it's at the moment. It's like it's fighting. If this was fighting, it would be going from heavyweight to lightweight. That's how much weight it's got taken off of it. Yeah, I mean, he's got the thing on a rope. He was saying in the practice, he was like, oh, Griff has the same time as me in the practice, but I think over the course of a race distance, 70 kilos is just proving to be a bit more significant. And with 2 minutes 50 left on the clock, Longy just absolutely running away with it as Matty's saying, what a track. Oh, I mean, the person in P8 would strongly disagree. I'm an in the middle when it comes to Brands Hatch. It depends on how I'm driving that day and what car I'm driving, because I've really enjoyed it and I've really hated it, and it entirely depends on if I have talent on any given day. Which Fabian can attest, I usually don't have talent. So I don't like it a lot of the time, but when I'm driving well, I do enjoy the track. There's actually Longy coming up to lap Jason Lee here. Yeah, he's just getting out of the way. Yeah, Longy absolutely checked out of this one. You really have to send it here, and I love that. Yeah, but you really have to send it at Bathurst, and Bathurst is just a better send track. I think we found the topic of conversation for the night. As yeah, the field really spacing out here at Brands Hatch, and with a minute 25 to go, I guess we may as well just stay with Andrew Long as he's running away from the field at the moment, and he'll have one more lap left after this one to take the flag. If you don't enjoy the track, you don't have the talent. No, I'm not saying he doesn't have the talent. He just doesn't enjoy it for other reasons. I don't enjoy it because I don't have the talent. Most of the exits are in the dirt if you're doing it right. Yeah, but like... No, personally. Also, like, you can't race here. You literally see, like, 3 cars wheel to wheel every, like, 4 laps. Which, if you compare that to, like, racing at Bathurst, there's, like, an overtake per microsecond. Unless you're at the top. So, I don't know. Anyway... Longy, with 70 kilos off of his car, is actually being closed in a lot here by Justin Griffin. That gap was well over 2 seconds, so I'm not sure what's happened, but he should still have time to use. 20 seconds left on the clock, so he'll be saved by the bell, presuming he wouldn't have gotten away again here in this race. So as he makes his way through the final sector of this racetrack here in race 1. He played his wild card. He's still got his wild card in play for 2 more qualifyings and races, but he starts the night off by setting the tone behind the wheel of that McLaren, as now he makes his way into Clark Curve for the final time here in race 1, and Andrew Long is going to cross the line to win race 1 here in Brands Hatch and take the first win of round 2 in season 23 and win by 1.8 seconds. What a drive there from Andrew Long, and I expect to see more of it with the amount of weight he has taken off that car. He should be winning the next 2, but you never know with tyre strategy over the course of the night. As Bartoletti comes home in 4th, MJ comes home in 6th, and Tim Bradley comes home in 7th. Stephen Rees crosses the line just ahead of Lee Perkins. I didn't see that battle heating up on my timing screen, but it was there and happening as he finishes down in 8th, but beats the GTR to the line. Swooper comes home in 10th. Then you have Osuch in 11th, Broads in 12th, Speed Racer in 13th after an incident earlier on. Toba Sire comes home in 15th, and then Jason Lee rounds it out. So your race 1 results: Andrew Long, Justin Griffin, Hoggy, Bartoletti, Alex Andre, MJ, Tim Bradley, Stephen Rees, Perko, Swooper, Chris Osuch, Broads, Speed Racer, Demon Boost, Tobasai, Jason Lee rounds out the 16-car field here in race number 1. And don't go anywhere, because qualifying 2 will be, and race 2 will be starting very, very shortly. So here on Sensational TV, we will be right back.
Simulator model being purchased, you will receive a range of training resources to help you to facilitate quality driver education. SDT is the exclusive distributor of Fatal Vision alcohol impairment goggles, marijuana simulation goggles, and drowsy and distracted blinking goggles. All are used to demonstrate the dangers of such impairments on the driver. Also available are driver training posters, driving handbooks, and distracted driving resources. Our simulators make the perfect training tool for drivers to experience how various impairments affect their performance. Depending on the simulator model being purchased, you will receive a range of training resources to help you to facilitate quality driver education. SDT is the exclusive distributor of Fatal Vision alcohol impairment goggles, marijuana simulation goggles, and drowsy and distracted blinking goggles. All are used to demonstrate the dangers of such impairments on the driver. Also available are driver training posters, driving handbooks, and distracted driving resources. Our simulators make the perfect training tool for drivers to experience how various impairments affect their performance. Depending on the simulator model being purchased, you will receive a range of training resources to help you to facilitate quality driver education. SDT is the exclusive distributor of Fatal Vision alcohol impairment goggles, marijuana simulation goggles, and drowsy and distracted blinking goggles. All are used to demonstrate the dangers of such impairments on the driver. Also available are driver training posters, driving handbooks, and distracted driving resources. Our simulators make the perfect training tool for drivers to experience how various impairments affect their performance. Depending on the simulator model being purchased, you will receive a range of training resources to help you to facilitate quality driver education. SDT is the exclusive distributor of Fatal Vision alcohol impairment goggles, marijuana simulation goggles, and drowsy and distracted blinking goggles. All are used to demonstrate the dangers of such impairments on the driver. Also available are driver training posters, driving handbooks, and distracted driving resources. Our simulators make the perfect training tool for drivers to experience how various impairments affect their performance. Depending on the simulator model being purchased, you will receive a range of training resources to help you to facilitate quality driver education. SDT is the exclusive distributor of Fatal Vision alcohol impairment goggles, marijuana simulation goggles, and drowsy and distracted blinking goggles. All are used to demonstrate the dangers of such impairments on the driver. Also available are driver training posters, driving handbooks, and distracted driving resources. Our simulators make the perfect training tool for drivers to experience how various impairments affect their performance. Depending on the simulator model being purchased, you will receive a range of training resources to help you to facilitate quality driver education. SDT is the exclusive distributor of Fatal Vision alcohol impairment goggles, marijuana simulation goggles, and drowsy and distracted blinking goggles. All are used to demonstrate the dangers of such impairments on the driver. Also available are driver training posters, driving handbooks, and distracted driving resources. Our simulators make the perfect training tool for drivers to experience how various impairments affect their performance. Depending on the simulator model being purchased, you will receive a range of training resources to help you to facilitate quality driver education. SDT is the exclusive distributor of Fatal Vision alcohol impairment goggles, marijuana simulation goggles, and drowsy and distracted blinking goggles. All are used to demonstrate the dangers of such impairments on the driver. Also available are driver training posters, driving handbooks, and distracted driving resources. Our simulators make the perfect training tool for drivers to experience how various impairments affect their performance. Depending on the simulator model being purchased, you will receive a range of training resources to help you to facilitate quality driver education. SDT is the exclusive distributor of Fatal Vision alcohol impairment goggles, marijuana simulation goggles, and drowsy and distracted blinking goggles. All are used to demonstrate the dangers of such impairments on the driver.
Green light, go, go, go.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, here for the second qualifying of the night here in Brands Hatch. The 5-minute qualifying session is well underway. Here, 20 seconds in, everybody piling out onto the track as fast as possible, because you can get 3 laps in if you're out the gate very, very quickly, but you have to do a fairly quick outlap. So Andrew Long will be the favourite, the one to beat. And yeah, it is going to be a good second qualifying, because this is now where the tyre conversation can come into it, because you only have 2 sets of tyres over the 3 races here tonight, and it causes a bit of a strategy issue, especially when it comes to being able to push for qualifying laps, because you have to decide whether you want to push all 3 laps to qualify higher up at the sacrifice of a lot of tyre life, especially if you make a mistake, or if you do 1 lap, feel like it's good enough, and back down, go back to the pits and save some tyre life. As welcome in Greg to the chat. Absolutely hush your bud, mate. Go get a dev seat, then you have rights, then you can talk. As Justin Griffin now starting their first lap of qualifying here in Quali 2. So down into turn 1, down through Paddock Hill Bend. Full commitment there from the Nissan GTR. Presumably this won't be their fastest lap of the qualifying session, as now they make their way through Druids and then around Graham Hill and then into Graham Hill Bend through the medium speed left-hander. Just keep the car on the floor. Very easy to have a snap now as you head up into Surtees. The car likes to get loose. You have to really open up the exit and then absolutely floor it, which this Nissan will have no problem doing. And then right down the hill, down the Pilgrim's Drop, now into Hawthorns. Complete commitment. The Nissan complaining a little bit there on the front end, not wanting to get into the corner. And then into Westfield, and then up towards Sheen Curve. Keep the car all the way out to the outside. It really flows through this section. You don't want to hit the grass on the outside. Otherwise, you'll find yourself in the ditch. Then through the penultimate corner. Now in towards the final corner they go. What is the lap time going to be here in qualifying 2 for Justin Griffin? Still a few more laps to go. It's on the grass out of the final corner though. As they cross the line, what's it going to be? It's going to be a 1 minute 24.1. Not ideal there for Justin Griffin. Now we look to Andrew Long. If I can find him on the timing tower. Oh, he's well up the top there with a 23.5, nearly 5/10 clear of Hoggy at the moment. A minute and a half to go in qualifying. Andrew still pushing, a 10th up at the moment. Let's go on board here with Andrew Long. As get Slammer out of this chat as well. Oh no, I'm getting raided here by the group of Destructos. As thank you Tash for the $20. So we need to convince the ATO that donating to YouTube is a charity donation. Oh, I love it. As thank you so much for that one. Too kind, as per usual. And Andrew Long making his way through the penultimate corner. Now he's just got one more corner to go, and he'll find another 3/10. If he can improve through the final corner, it could be even more than that. Currently sits on a 23.5. Now he makes his way up towards the line. What's it going to be? It's going to be a 1 minute 23.162. So it's 3.5 found there for Andrew Long with 17 seconds left on the clock. He's going to go for one more. Does Justin Griffin have a response at the moment? They're heading through the start of the lap right now. They are currently 4/10 away from pole. That'll be hard to topple with a McLaren that has 70 kilos off of ballast, and Hoggy in the pit lane. So the main pole contenders are out except for Justin Griffin, and that tells the story there. 23.1 here in the second qualifying session. As Griffin looking pretty hooked up at the moment behind the wheel of the Ricky Bobby inspired liveried Nissan GTR. Get it over the top of the curb. The car complaining a little bit there. As now through the exit at the penultimate corner. No complaints there from the car. It was a clean lap, but it doesn't look like it's going to be an improvement here for Justin Griffin as they make their way rounding the final corner and up towards the line. Is it going to be an improvement here for Justin? It is not going to be an improvement. So Andrew Long once again on pole position here in Brands Hatch for race number 2. This is where it starts to get interesting. Strategy will come into play. Will people use their race 1 tyres, or will they be on a fresh set once again? We'll find out in a moment. But your final qualifying order is Andrew Long from Justin Griffin, then Hoggy and Alexandre, then Racer, then Bartoletti, then Tim Bradley, then Steve Reese, then Chris O'Such, then MJ, Tobasiah, Lee Perkins, Broads, Swooper, Jason Lee, Demon Boost, Tom Marzello with no laps of practice and jumping in a race late, and then Eda Nick gets 18th and last here in this qualifying session, but he does show up. He wasn't here for race 1 either, so we've got some late joiners here in the GT Challenge, which is always good to see. The more the merrier out here on the racetrack, so that should tick over soon. I think it's Tom potentially holding up the session tick over. As there we go. It has now ticked over and we're on the grid. So let's take a look at the liveries up and down this grid. So you have Andrew Long with his pink and white McLaren that is absolutely dominating so far tonight. Then you have Justin Griffin with the Ricky Bobby inspired number 51 Nissan GTR. Then you have the old faithful Hoggy in his 296 with the same livery since season, well, at least since season 18. It could potentially be longer. I haven't been here for all too long. Then we have Alexandre in the 84 with a really nice looking Porsche 992 GT3R, and then you have Speed Racer with the Valentino Rossi liveried BMW, then the Martini McLaren for Bartoletti. I do really like that livery. Then Tim Bradley swapping from blue to green in this series. The original livery that Tim Bradley had, if I'm not mistaken, was blue, although it could have also been Old Man Racer. I can't remember. They both joined at the same time. And that is a great remembrance from me. Steve Reese with the Rita Engineering Lamborghini Gallardo. It puts out a noise. It goes fast in a straight line. However, when that is all your downforce, it's not going to take you very far up the grid. So the multiple-time champion really struggling here in this series. Then Chris O'Such in ninth. I do really like that livery. Then MJ in the number 5 BMW. And then Toba Sire with the Prost. No, is it Prost? I'm doubting myself now. I learnt last week and now I've forgotten again. I'm such a talented commentator, guys, I promise. And then you have Lee Perkins with the He-Man livery. 15 seconds until we're going, and then we have Broads in
10 seconds.
The number 18, and that'll be all we get through at the moment. As Greg, you're not particularly wrong. What a terrible commentator I am. I can't really remember the origins of even the liveries. As thank you, Slammer, for subscribing to the channel. Always appreciated, mate. And I'm sure by the end of this year, you'll be sick of my voice, Slammer. You've been hearing me for too long at this point in the commentary box, whether it be here on Simsational or doing the OFI. As now they get ready to go racing here in race number 2. So, it's Andrew Long alongside Justin Griffin on the front row once again, followed by Hoggy and Alex Andre. It's the same front 2 rows as last time, but the green flags are ready to fly. The green lights are ready to illuminate here for race 2, and we're underway for racing action. Griffin gets off to an even better start than last time, but they're still going to be let out to dry on the outside of Paddock Hill Bend, but they get a slingshot on the exit, and the leaders are going to be wheel to wheel as they head into the hairpin now. That's late on the brakes there from Andrew Long to retain the lead here on lap number 1. Meanwhile, it looked like Speed Racer was wheel to wheel briefly with Bartoletti. Tim Bradley now trying to show the noses. Here comes Stephen Reese on the inside, but he's now under pressure himself as they head into this second part of the circuit. As then in the background, there goes Lee Perkins down the inside of Chris O'Such, wheel to wheel as they head up the hill. Now right back down for the exit, and that is move done there for Lee Perkins. Now, here comes Stephen Reese putting the pressure on, but as they head into the high-speed Hawthorne Bend, the car was never going to hold on compared to the modern-day GT3 machinery around him, as it's absolutely nose to tail at the moment. Here on lap 1, Alex Andre putting under a bit of pressure from MJ currently as they make their way through the final stages of the lap, as they have one more corner to go once they navigate this penultimate corner, and now up towards Clark Curve to finish lap number 1. Once again, it's Andrew Long leading the field away, and Justin Griffin following behind by 1.2 seconds. Andrew Long absolutely checking out here in race 2. Hoggy trying to keep it together, trying to stay behind, but Griffin getting away as well. There could be a battle between himself and Alex Andre. Meanwhile, Bartoletti's down the inside of Speed Racer through the hairpin. They're side by side. Now they'll be heading into Graham Hill Bend. Backing out goes Bartoletti, and they'll have to live to fight another day. Tim Bradley looking to get involved as well in this little tussle as the 906 of Chris O'Such is slow. Let's grab a replay. Is it just a simple mistake through Graham Hill Bend, or is it through the hairpin? That's Lee Perkins showing the nose on the inside of MJ. They're side by side. Could that be related to this incident? No, they back out. Oh, it's just the grass on the entry. Just a misjudgment of where the car was placed on the circuit and hitting the outside grass and spinning around. An easy mistake to make when the grass is just there ready to punish you here at Brands Hatch. And now they'll need to get the head back down and continue on. As Alexandre actually staying well on the back of Hoggy at the moment. This could definitely be a fight to keep an eye on as they head down the hill and towards the hairpin. The Porsche absolutely screeching away, but Hoggy slowly eking out a gap there. Steve Reese is wide. This could invite Lee Perkins into it. These two are battling at the end of race one. Now it looks like it could be round two here between these two, as Lee Perkins getting ready to strike MJ as well, sitting there waiting in the wings, waiting to attack, as Tim Bradley looking under a bit of pressure is showing the nose up the road as Bartoletti on Speed Racer, but they aren't going side by side. It's just pressure being applied at the moment. As let's look over the rear wing here of Steve Reese as the GTR fills his rear view mirrors. As Steve actually taking a pretty far inside line there, just cutting in aggressively in this Rita, probably just trying to make sure that Perkins doesn't go for anything too outrageous. Perkins is a aggressive driver at the best of times, so given the opportunity behind a vastly inferior car, he'll probably go for quite an aggressive one. Speaking of aggressive, that was an aggressive slide there for Lee Perkins that finds himself now behind MJ. That was a really, really big snap there from the GTR, and that is one of the characteristics of the car. But more importantly, that's really, really harmful to the tyre life for the rest of the night. So he's going to have to keep that in mind heading towards Q3 and race 3, and also for the rest of this one as well. The tyre life will not be up to scratch, as we have 13 minutes and 20 seconds to go, and Speed Racer and Bartoletti still having a little bit of a tussle at the moment. But Bartoletti, he's been showing the nose, but not committing to anything necessarily, not forcing any sort of moves, as the BMW feeling the pressure, but not making any mistakes just yet as they head in towards Hawthorns. As, yeah, this track not very conductive to wheel racing. You really have to be alongside, so it's going to take a mistake here, I think, for Bartoletti to really have an opportunity to go for it as they head up the hill. And that was a little bit wide there from Alexandre. And yeah, that's Alexandre off. That was a big cloud of smoke. I saw them dragging the grass on the way out, but I thought they were able to keep it together, but I think that it ended up biting them in the end. It's a big moment there. We've seen it happen before in race 1, and I'm sure if you've raced Brands Hatch, it's happened to you before. As yeah, that's the bit of grass I saw them kick up. I didn't see them kick up grass here on this exit, as yeah, they went wide for the second corner in a row, and he was just a passenger in that incident. Holds the brakes there on the outside. Everybody a little bit compromised into the next section due to it. Alexandre was having such a good race, just holding down P4, and had a very solid race 1. Is having some solid performances in qualifying, and now they're going to have to wait for race 3 to continue that run of good form that we've seen since the start of the season. Alexandre definitely will come back in race 3. They've been very, very consistent over the course of this one. Speaking of, here they go. James looking to make a move on Chris O'Such, as it's a little bit of a bump there on the rear bumper of the McLaren as they head into Hawthorns. James is going to back out of it, but clearly being held up in this fight, as now they're going to go to the inside switch through into Westfield they go, getting the move done. As Steve Reese still in this little three-way train, and that is Lee Perkins slowly creeping back up to MJ. Lee had a moment earlier on in this race, and there's another car round. That is another car round at the penultimate corner of, oh no, at Sheen Curve. It was the 47. It was Toba Sire this time, who's had a bit of a problem in the Mercedes. It's a little bit all over the grass here, and now Toby heading into, yeah, just dropping it on the grass. Not quite as bad as Alexandre, as they were able to keep it out of the wall. Actually, a small bump there. Oh, they spun it back around again, just lit up the rears. Oh, and then they just clatter into the wall. Not too much damage there on that Mercedes AMG, but it still won't feel nice. As now back up to this four-way fight, nearly five-way. As Steve Reese really applying the pressure for a man driving the least competitive car on the GT3 grid. They're certainly putting up a fight here to Tim Bradley, but MJ also getting the feeling they need to get a move on before they get attacked by Lee Perkins. So just under 10 minutes to go in this one. It's still heating up here in the battle for the top six. Steve Reese looking in a good spot, but also looking like he's under a lot of pressure at the moment. How long can he hold on before a mistake creeps in? He was doing fairly well in race 2 at Circuit of the Americas in the reverse grid before his race was ended at turn 1. Now he's looking to make amends, make a recovery here in race 2 of round 2 and get a good result, as MJ has the run down the hill. And now as they head into Druids, it's a show of the nose there from the BMW, but nothing too aggressive. They're playing it quite safe as Stephen Reese bottoming out on the curb there. This car really small and low. It does not like taking the curbs, or at least exit curbs, by the looks of it. As Tim Bradley eking out a little bit of a gap now to Stephen Reese, but not too much of one. MJ now the one falling under some pressure from 3 cars behind now. This battle continues to expand, but it's mainly Lee Perkins who's causing the problem at the moment, but Broads and Edenick are both hunting them down as well. Edenick off in the background, not quite having an accident though, keeping the car on the road. As they make their way into Sheen Curve, MJ looking now make a move. They know it's their time to go. Stephen Reese forcing them back into Lee Perkins unintentionally, but it's still happening nonetheless. Now MJ pulls to the inside of the final corner. Will it be up the inside and move done here for MJ on Stephen Reese? It's certainly alongside, but now the Gallardo stretches its legs in a straight line. Here comes Lee Perkins as well as they head into turn 1. It's side by side. Stephen Reese holds onto the place. MJ's going to have to settle for seconds here in this fight. Never mind. They get the cutback. They get a good exit, and that is a brilliant move. A little bit of a door-to-door bang. Here comes Lee Perkins giving Steve-O the big old whack on the door, saying no thank you today, and just absolutely giving him the shove off to the side. A great move from MJ on Stephen Reese. That Gallardo getting battered. Now here comes Lee again on the offense, on the attack. Meanwhile, oh no, there's been an incident in the background. Perkins gets the move done, but for the second race 2 in a row, Steve-O's been thrown off the road. Here's what happened with Lee Perkins. Lee just shoves into his rear right, as per Lee Perkins, elbow out. And then Steve-O has the poor run. Because of that, the car unsettled. Then they head up towards Surtees, and it looks like Broads just completely collects him while Lee Perkins is getting the move done. They clatter the curb, just smack into the side of him. Broads ended out worse in that situation. A spin around there, so he's paid the price. But Stephen Reese copping a battering for no reason here in race 2. One overtake led to the next, All of them had a little bit of contact involved. Overall, it was great from MJ. Lee could have probably been a bit more patient, and then it was just a mistake there from Broads. Unfortunate there in that big fight. Speed Racer now really feeling the pressure though to Bartoletti, as Bartoletti is right there. I think Lee Perkins as well. Oh, no, that's MJ. MJ has gone round here. Oh, that's Lee Perkins wide, spinning. Oh, and they hit into MJ. MJ was a passenger in that. He pulled up alongside, and Lee just lost it. Lee looked seemingly not able to handle the power of that Nissan GTR. That is the third incident I've seen them in over the first 2 rounds that have just been quite poor, to be brutally honest. But with 5.5 minutes to go, MJ now goes tumbling down. No sign of a redress from Lee Perkins either, as Perkins continues the charge towards Tim Bradley, and Eda Nick joins in this fight in the background. Eda Nick normally a little bit further up the road than here, but he didn't do race 1, and now he's here to have a bit of fun in race 2 and race 3. It also gives him the leg up on tyre life over the 2 races, as now they head into turn 1. Lee Perkins switches to the inside, tries to go down the inside, dummies the move at Paddock Hill Bend. Now having a snap on the exit. Now here comes Eda Nick. He's defending the inside. Instead of aggressing, he runs wide off the apex. Eda Nick pulls up alongside there through the apex, sliding on the exit. Again goes Lee Perkins, holding onto the place. He wants to move forwards, but Eda Nick is making it tremendously hard. I say that as he has a snap. Lee Perkins now once again showing the nose on the inside of Surtees, trying to get alongside, having a snap on the exit. The Nissan really struggling now as they drop down the hill, down the Pilgrim drop, and towards Hawthorns they go. Surely it's not a move. All the way to the inside grass. Down the inside goes Lee Perkins. Can't get it done. Can't make it stick. Now Eda Nick is on the grass. Perkins still holding the inside line. That's a great run there on the inside. Goes Eda Nick, pulling up alongside, inching forward and ahead of Lee Perkins. And that is absolutely sublime driving, patient driving from Eda Nick, showing Lee Perkins how it's done there. The Nissan getting to Lee Perkins. He can't keep that thing in a straight line for more than 2 corners before he has another snap. Now Eda Nick looking to put the charge onto Tim Bradley as they cross the line to start the 10th lap of this race. As Eda Nick still closing in at the moment. And Perkins will be looking to re-find his footing in this race after various mistakes. Put him back in P8. Now he sees the purple BMW ahead that just overtook him. He'll want that place back, but if he's patient, there might just be time for Eda Nick to overtake Tim Bradley, and then Perkins can pick up the pieces from that fight. That was great fighting between these 3 drivers. The main 2 involved, Eda Nick and Perkins, and now Nick really showing the nose, really pressuring Tim Bradley, who's acting like a roadblock. You have one McLaren 7 seconds out in front with 2 minutes 40 to go here in race 2. Then you have one McLaren back here putting up a valiant effort in the midfield. This is some great show all round from the McLarens on this grid. Oh, it's wide. It's on the grass there for Tim Bradley. We've seen so many drivers spin from that over the course of the night. Now he loses out to Eda Nick. Here comes Lee Perkins now as they make their way into Clark Curve. He's going to try and show the nose on the inside. We know he's not afraid to get the elbows out, and he's going to get ahead there, taking advantage of the mistake from Tim Bradley. Tim is now dropped to 8th. Eda Nick gets the place. Perkins gets the place. Now Perkins needs to keep the eyes forward on Eda Nick, but with 2 minutes to go, you would have to say that time is running out. He'd be looking at the clock, thinking maybe it's time to play patient, but also Tim not going down without a fight. He wants this place back as well. All the while, Speed Racer and Bartoletti still locked in a heated battle. They haven't swapped around yet this race. The BMW putting up a stellar defense at the moment, but Bartoletti won't give up. 1.5 minutes to go. 1 lap remaining in this race as Andrew Long is about to make his way around the final corner and then start the final lap. So this is going to be a fight to the end, a fight for P4 here in race 2, the best of the rest, the first driver not on the podium here in race 2. The battle goes down to these two as Andrew Long begins his final lap charge. 7 seconds out in front over Justin Griffin. The minus 70 kilos wild card, well, the minus 40 kilos wild card, putting in work there for Andrew Long at the moment as they cross the line, heading on to the final lap of race 2, as this battle will continue to go on. We've had some fantastic battling over the course of race 2. It's been a really great night so far with some interesting incidents, some good wheel-to-wheel racing, as Lee Perkins being the main person putting on a show. He's just really getting the elbows out here around Brands Hatch. It's normally really hard to get wheel-to-wheel here, but when you have a driver like Lee just forcing his nose on the inside of any nook and cranny he can find, it can definitely still make for some entertaining racing. As, yeah, Longy's play to pull the wild card has proved very, very effective. He's used the wild card to take off a lot of weight from his car, and even if he was having tyre wear struggles, which I severely doubt, he's putting his car to good use, putting the extra pace to good use. He won in race 1. He's going to win now in race number 2 as he crosses the line in the 720S. Andrew Long wins race 2. Justin Griffin crosses the line in second place. Once again, Hoggy will come home in 3rd position. But now this puts Andrew Long in a unique position. Can he take home the slam? Can he get pole in all 3 races and win all 3 races? He first needs to now put his eyes forward to qualifying, try and get pole position there, and then take home the 25-minute final race of the night. That is the big question as we head towards the 3rd and final race here on Tuesday night. Justin Griffin had to settle for 2nd again. Will be looking to go one better. Hoggy on the podium again. Speed Racer gets 4th. Bartoletti unable to make the move. Eda Nick with a great recovery drive up to 6th through all the battling going on. Lee Perkins, after some interesting incidents, will get 7th place. Lee Perkins will get 7th. Tim Bradley will get 8th. Swooper will get 9th. Demon Boost will be P10. Alexandre will be 11th. And then you have Reese, Broads, Osach, MJ, Tobasaya, and Jason Lee rounds out the grid. Actually, Tom Marzella as well back there. So, we'll be back in a few moments' time for qualifying 3 here on Sensational TV. But don't go anywhere until then. Refresh your water, your popcorn, your snacks, whatever you need to do before we get into qualifying 3 and race 3. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, for qualifying 3 and race number 3 here, and the final quali and race of the night here for round number 2. As Justin Griffin, the first one out of the gates this time around, instead of Alex Andre, who's been the first out of the gate the first 2 qualifying sessions. So this is where it all becomes known. Who's done what with their 2 sets of tyres. We know that Andrew Long has won race 1 and race 2, but what he did to get there was, well, mainly ballast, but it also could be 2 sets of tyres. Very, very new. Now, with a longer race ahead of us, and also Quali 3, we'll really get to see how the pace is going to stack up and what the tyre situation is looking like. You better tell, because we've been seeing 22s and low 23s. And you'll start to see those times creep upwards towards more 23s and more 24s. So Justin Griffin kicks off the qualifying session now in the GTR. Now into Druids. They go heavy on the anchors. Tip it in. Very wide there. The Nissan not responding well to the corner entry. As now up into 30s they go. Just keep the car on the floor and you should be okay. I've gone spearing off straight on there before in a Porsche. I didn't hit the grass on entry, but I hit the marbles and then released the brakes very quickly. And I basically went straight and then did a very slow spin. That could also be Porsche things as well, to be fair, but still something to keep note of when you try to take a really wide out late apex line. It's now into the penultimate corner. Justin Griffin giving the car a big push here in the opening lap. What is the time going to be as they round the final corner? This is going to be the benchmark for everybody to chase. It's going to be a 1 minute 24.6, so the tyre's definitely not there for Justin Griffin as Andrew Long firmly goes to the top with a 1 minute 23.2, 7/10 clear of the next car, and then another 7/10 clear of Justin Griffin. However, Justin has been putting in poor first laps in qualifying. There was a plethora of mistakes over the course of that lap, and in the first 2 qualifying sessions they heat up and get right back on Andrew Long towards the end of qualifying. So we'll stay now with Longy through the rest of this lap. He's already 2/10 up. Justin Griffin also 3/10 up, but Justin's going to need to find a lot more than that through the rest of their lap to get anywhere close to Andrew Long. So that could be the tyre sets running out here in race 3 for Justin Griffin. You just simply never know as they make their way up into Sheen Curve and then now in towards Sterling. And that's traffic there for Longy. He will not be happy. That's 4/10 lost on his lap time. He was 5/10 up. Now he's only going to improve by a 10th with 1 lap to go here in his qualifying session. Let's go on board. I'm just going to leave you guys to the car audio as he shoots for pole. It's been a good lap for Andrew Long, and it's going to be in the 22s as he makes his way towards the line. The final pole time of the night is a 1 minute 22.545, and wow, that is a statement here. 1.3 seconds over Hoggy. Nobody else has tyres left. Longy clearly does, and also with the ballast, that's probably helped his case. Ballast, cool track. He doesn't have a worry in the world. So Andrew Long takes it comfortably. This time, Justin Griffin slips all the way to 6th, 2.1 seconds off of pole. So Andrew Long takes pole from Hoggy, then Bartoletti, Speed Racer, Lee Perkins finally finding themselves up the order a little bit further, so they shouldn't have to be getting the elbow out too much. Justin Griffin 6th, Chris O'Such, then MJ, then Stephen Reese once again inside the top 10, then James Alex Andre, then Broads, then Swooper, then Tobasiah, then Tom Marzella, then Jason Lee, Tim Bradley, Demon Boost, and Edenick rounds it out up the back. So that was an absolutely fantastic qualifying session. A dominant lap there, though, from Andrew Long, clearly showing that he has a lot left to give coming into this final race. He has done one part of the remaining job to get the slam. He got pole in race one, got pole for race one, one in race one, pole in race two, one in race two. He's got pole in race three. Will he finish the pattern? Will he win in race 3? It looks incredibly likely. Currently, he's played the wild card perfectly. This is what you need to do if you're playing the minus 40 kilos wild card. I'll tell you what, if you're not winning every single one when you take off that much weight from your car, it is not the right time to have used it. So Andrew will be looking forward to this final race. He has a minute and a half until we're underway. So make your predictions in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Will Longy complete the slam here in this super sprint round for the second round of the GT Challenge Championship? So the engine's revving away as there we go. Longy finally drops off the jacks. I was scared there for a moment, but now they'll get underway for the formation corner for one last time here tonight. It's going to be a big one. After a 15-minute and an 18-minute race, it jumps all the way up to a 25-minute race. This is going to test the tyres. It's going to test the drivers here in this one. So on your front row, you have Andrew Long and Hoggy. Then on your second row, Bartoletti and Speed Racer. On your third row, you have Lee Perkins and Justin Griffin, the two Nissans. Then you have Chris O'Such and MJ rounding out your top 8. Then Stephen Reese and Alexandra round out the top 10. So for the last time tonight, the green flags are ready to fly. The green lights ready to illuminate here in Brands Hatch, and we're underway for racing action already. Andrew Long gets off to a good start, but now Bartoletti is putting the pressure on as they go up the inside in towards turn 1 on Hoggy. Can't quite move up into second position all the while as well. Lee Perkins moves up into 4th place already. Justin Griffin making hasty work of the BMW of Speed Racer as well. That's MJ out on the grass. They've got to watch the rejoin here. Oh, that's contacted. Tom Marzella's off the track. That is unfortunate there for Tom Marzella. Meanwhile, Perkins trying to show the nose on Bartoletti, and now Justin Griffin will be looking to get past Lee Perkins after a poor qualifying effort. As Alexandre in a battle with Stephen Reese as they go drag racing down the hill. The Gallardo's so good in a straight line as they head into Hawthorns, but he doesn't have the corner grip to stick it out. He got ahead, but Alexandre just goes, thank you very much, right back up the inside, and move redone there. As that's a move there for Justin Griffin on the inside. It's contact there, and they get the elbows out. Oh, that's Lee Perkins falling down. That is Lee Perkins stopped on the side, and that is also Chris O'Such slow in the McLaren. There was elbows out there from Justin Griffin, but with Lee Perkins, you really have to be. We've seen that tonight. Perkins has caused more than enough problems as well, as the 510 and the 906 also slow off that corner spinning around. And yeah, Griffin decided it's time to go aggressive. And yeah, that ended up with Lee Perkins absolutely off in the ditch. Andrew Long has Hoggy for company though. This is interesting. Pole by over a second. And now here in race 3, Hoggy staying with Andrew Long. I know it's only lap 2, but 7.5 tenths is not a bad gap to be holding to a car with minus 70 kilos. I'll tell you what, he might not get the win, but he's certainly making Andrew Long work a little bit harder to get away. All the while, Steve Reese under pressure from Alexandre as they have swapped around at some point in the not so distant past. As this is a great little train here that Steve-O's sort of forming, being behind the wheel of that Rita. As there goes James Alexandre up the, oh no. Steve-O, that was Steve-O in the wrong there for that one. He's just absolutely turned in and just clipped the back of James. And they've both gone flying off straight. Steve-O cedes the place. Yeah, Alex got a good, James got a good move there, and then Steve-O just misjudged the turn in, tried to switch back like he did in Kota and just clipped the rear end of his car. It happens sometimes. It happens to the best of us. As Toby in a nice little fight here with Broads as they head down into turn 2. MJ as well, who went off on lap 1, looking to get into the thick of it. So a three-way fight here further down, as well as Demon Boost is wide. Lee Perkins now goes up the inside, taking the place there. As James Alexandre as well, looking to make quick work of the Ford Mustang as they head up into Surtees. Not able to get alongside just yet. Bartoletti on the outside of Justin Griffin. Not able to defend it. Justin Griffin up into 3rd position now. Bartoletti will now have Speed Racer closing in behind the McLaren, falling away a little bit. As Broads still under some immense pressure at the moment. That Mercedes hawking underneath the rear wing of his Ferrari. And then you have a BMW as well in the back of that, applying the pressure to Toby as that V8 roars in the Mercedes. And there's 2 BMWs as well, because Eda Nick from the back has closed up as Steve Reese has gone off the track. Stephen Reese off the road, off the side of the track. And he's now trying to rejoin, but we're going to have a bit of racing heading at turn 1. Here comes MJ as they head towards Paddock Hill Bend, showing the outside nose instead of diving to the inside on Sober side. That should open up the run. Now down into turn 2 as they head into Druids. That is MJ showing the nose down the inside. Not able to get alongside though, just stuck halfway between being able to get to the inside and running into the back of Toba Sire. Not working at the moment for MJ when it comes to trying to get an overtake done. And Eda Nick sitting right there. Swooper as well in a bit of a battle. Here comes James down the inside, getting that move done, moving up back into the top 12. So James making quick work of Swooper, and that's good to see. Back on the recovery charge after the incident with Steve-O. Speaking of Lee Perkins, Looking on the back of Tim Bradley again, we've seen these two race in race number 2. Now it's time for round 2 between these two drivers, but they've got a while to go. Still 20 minutes remaining here in race number 3. It's Andrew Long leading the way by 2 seconds at the moment to Hoggy. Justin Griffin fairly safe as well in their little gap. They've had a good night. Not quite as good as Andrew Long, but still nonetheless a good night. Toba Sire potentially looking to defend into turn 1. No, it's a carbon copy of last lap. Will it be a carbon copy of turn 2 as well? No, MJ is even further behind this lap round, so Toby is safe. As MJ potentially now starting to drive a bit defensively, a bit in the mirrors with Eda Nick right there, but maybe not. They are so close. As let's go in the cockpit of the second in line BMW as MJ looking to make a move, dives to the inside of Surtees. Eda Nick's car's complaining all the while, but that's a move done for MJ. Then the switchback from Eda Nick, the slingshot on the exit as they head down the drop down. And into Hawthorne they go, and that is move done for Eda Nick as well. So these BMWs moving in a pack. MJ gets a move, Eda Nick also gets a move. They're closing up to Broads now as well. Will it also be a situation of MJ overtakes Broads, Eda Nick overtakes Broads, or will it be a situation where MJ can then start to bridge a gap? Eda Nick really impressing me tonight here in this super sprint with the racecraft, with the moves made. That BMW clearly making him feel at home at the moment. As we now have the race distance of race 2 still remaining to go in this race, as MJ looking to make quick work down the inside of Paddock Hill Bend on Broads. Now here comes Eda Nick looking on the outside of Druids. Will have to be aggressive. It's very deep there from the BMW. Now they're drag racing on the exit against the Ferrari. They're going to be wheel to wheel, and it's going to be side by side there through the very tight Graham Hill Bend. But Eda Nick also gets through once again. The German machines moving in a pack as Broads will soon find himself under pressure from Tim Bradley and Lee Perkins. So this could get interesting now, as once again Lee on the back of Tim Bradley, showing the nose, being aggressive, trying to force Tim into a mistake. He should know from race 2 the mistake won't come for quite a while. He just has to stick at it and be patient. But I think he might replace patience with aggression instead as they head up into Sheen Curve. And oh, never mind. There's the mistake there from Tim Bradley sideways. What a save there from Tim to catch that slide. It does mean that Lee Perkins gets through, but I want to take a look at that slide again. Look at, oh, I've just about missed it on the instant replay, but that was absolutely incredible car control from Tim Bradley. Take a bow. He is lucky to not be out of this race, as I think, a visitor here in the commentary box for the second week running. Steve-O, you're off the back. What happened, mate? How are you? Don't like the track. Yep. Well, to be fair, you did choose the car. Yeah, I mean, it didn't seem to like the exit curb off of turn 2. He kept on bottoming out over it. So yeah. Yeah, you had a bit of a scrap in race 2. You caught a couple of nudges for the second week running. Yeah, you keep getting caught in the crossfire of battles that you really shouldn't be having your nose in. You find yourself in that car struggling, holding on for dear life. You end up ahead of... Oh no, they can't hear you on the stream. Hold on, let me unmute you. There you go. That's why I had the source muted. Yeah, no, you keep finding yourself in the midst of like big battles in like race 2, and then just getting absolutely pummeled. And I think it's the same car for the second week in a row that led you in the big incident.
Could be, yeah. I don't know, I can't remember. But I think it's more difficult for those guys to be fighting with me. The car's got some weird characteristics, particularly on entry, so I think it catches some people off guard a bit. But that's all right.
It happens.
It's good. It's good to be.
Sorry to jump in. Tim Bradley with another mistake. This invites Alexandre up around the outside. Actually, as they head into Hawthorn, clearing. They are nearly into the back of Broads. Goes James. They just about managed to avoid it. That was nearly a Titanic crash. Tim Bradley trying to put the pressure back on as they head through this middle sector, just about keeping away from the incidents. Alexandre will be looking to make quick work of Broads though, as Perkins goes up the road. Once again, Bradley wide through the exit of Sheen Curve, nearly crashing again as James looking to make a move now on the outside of the final corner on the Ferrari, not able to get alongside and get the move done, but I think he's sizing up now the move into Paddock Hill Bend. So the Porsche dragging down into turn one, trying to make the move on Broads. Broads not going defensive. Will James go for it? Late on the brakes, no, but putting the pressure on, showing the nose. They now head down into turn two, down into Druids. James showing the inside, braking later, inching forward and inching ahead of Broads, who now gets tapped by Tim Bradley as well. So it was move done from James. Tim tried to follow them through, unfortunately tapped the back of Broads, but they continue on to live to fight another day. And that was fantastic battling there. James really having to work for that move on Broads, who's been getting overtaken left, right and centre throughout the course of race 3.
He's having to fight his way back through, isn't he?
Yeah.
James?
Yeah, he is. That was...
He's looking pretty good in that Porsche this season. I think the more
he
he
is.
gets used to it, he's going to be very, very quick.
Yeah, he's been really, really consistent, just like consistently 4th and 3rd. And then you gave him a nudge. I thought you were going to... It looked like you were trying the switchback that you did at Coda.
But I think, yeah, I expected him to be gone already.
Yeah, and you just... I think it was literally...
Extra conservative or something.
Yeah. I think it was literally the canard of your, like, the front of your car.
Yeah.
It just just clipped him and it's just gone bang.
Right at the wrong time for him as well.
Yeah. Like in the middle of Sheen Curve, which has already collected about 20,000 victims tonight.
Yeah.
It happens. It's been some good racing. I love the super sprints.
Yeah, that was good fun. So, Griff's closing on the back of Hoggy. Maybe.
Yeah, a little bit.
There.
Maybe by the end of the race.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be close. It looks like MJ and Eden Nick. Oh, well, Eden Nick actually got through on MJ. How have I missed that? Yeah. Great camera direction from me, as always.
You can't push more.
Yeah, it's just a shame because like I can get replays, but I can't get like far back replays. So
yeah,
I can do a minute, but then it drags on forever, and you don't see what you want to see until the end. Yeah,
that's right. So Hoggy's last lap at 23.8, 23.6 for Griffin. So he's only catching him a touch.
A little bit, bit by bit. Maybe Hoggy will see it and make a mistake, but I doubt it. They seem to be fairly well in the rhythm, these three, up the front. I mean, Longy's been unstoppable.
Yeah, minus 70 kilos.
Yeah.
Can you get it?
Seemingly it's helped the tyre wear for him as well. 17 degrees track doesn't help. You've been really nice on them, actually, Steve-o, giving them a super sprint and making the track really cold.
Yeah, it's all random number generator, so... you just get what you get.
Yeah, and in this case, they didn't have to get upset because it's been absolutely perfect weather for everybody involved.
Exactly.
Yep. You know, I was like, oh, that's really nice. Normally the super sprints are really hot, and even in the shorter races, the tyres start to go off, and we got a 25-minute. And then I checked the weather on the top, and I was like, 21 degrees? Nobody's going to have any tyre wear.
No.
As Matty Griff qualified in 6th, I think, for race 3.
Yeah, he got a little blocked on his second lap.
Yeah, so did Longy.
So.
Yeah. There's just there's a big bunch up. No, voice crack. There we go. There's a big bunch up at Sterling's. I'll tell you what, Perkins has been on a bit of a bump and run massacre today, Steve-O.
Yeah, I think half that's him and half that's the car.
Yeah, he keeps on having snaps and just flying into people.
The car looks a bit evil.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's a difficult car to tame. I mean, I drove it at Misano and I think I spun it more times than I have fingers, so...
Yeah, it just does weird. It has really weird behaviour off throttle.
Yeah, it like kind of digs in and like tries to come around, and then you get back on the throttle and the car's still unsettled. And then it just goes on the exit.
Oh, big slide for Hoggy.
Yeah, Hoggy's made a mistake. Griff's right there. Yep. So it was bit by bit. Now it's heated up here. 8.5 just over minutes to go, and it looks like we could have a battle on for P2. It wasn't a great qualifying from Griff, but that was due to some traffic in quali. Now making amends for it. They made their way up to third, but it looked like that was where they're going to stay, but maybe not, because Hoggy struggling a little bit here in the dying stages. And now Justin Griffin looking to make a move, but 5/10 still that gap, but the Nissan gets a slingshot as it always does on the exit. Now it's going to be wheel to wheel as they head down Paddock Hill Bend. Hoggy on the inside holds on to it for now, but then the exit of turn 1. Oh, that's a big snap there from Justin, just about not overcorrecting and going back the other way. That could have been a huge crash, but Justin keeping it in a straight line for now, as these two will continue to battle on here for the next 8 minutes.
This will be interesting. That thing looks like a handful, but he's probably got some good straight line speed, so if he can get a good exit here, you never know.
Yeah, Hoggy a bit snappy as well. Oh yeah, look at that. The Nissan just closes up. It's like a different class of car until you get to the braking zone. And just showing the nose. This is getting like this is getting very hip and shouldery from these two at the moment. Griff knowing this track is not one that you can really go side by side at. You just need to go for something unorthodox and try and get it done. And Hoggy just placing the car in the right places as they're coming up on Jason Lee as well, who's having some problems off the exit of Sheen Curve. They'll both navigate him now as they head into the final corner. This exit is going to be mission critical for Hoggy, but it's impossible to beat that Nissan on the exit. So as they drag towards turn 1, Griffin is closing and closing and closing, and once again though forced to the outside line, a very difficult line to pull off at the first corner here at Brands Hatch, but the exit is crucial. That was really slow on the exit there for Hoggy. I think that Griff had to check up there on the exit. A little bit of a tank slapper there through the exit for Hoggy, luckily not sending him the other way. These two seem to be trading exits snap by snap.
Hoggy's going full defensive now. I think it could be his downfall.
Yeah, maybe letting the pressure get to him a little bit too much here, over defending. It's easy to do. You see that car in your mirror, and I mean, I was doing it earlier on iRacing. I was in a Toyota race and over defended a little bit at the Nordschleife, just seeing the car in my mirrors, and then boom, I got rear-ended. But, yeah, iRacing for you. Anyway, anyway. Hopefully that doesn't happen here. These two seem to be having a pretty clean fight. These two have battled each other a fair bit in the past, but normally Griff's a little bit further up than Hoggy. He's actually putting in a solid effort in that Ferrari at the moment. It's, oh wow, Griff's on the limit. They're not giving it an inch.
Yeah.
Probably one of the only cars that can take that exit grass without being flown to the next realm. As it looks like once again as they head into turn 1, Griff showing the nose, but once again, Hoggy's just defending the inside, but it's not really, he doesn't need to be defending there, and again a snap on the exit, just down the crest, and then now Griff on the outside. It's 2x2 as they head through the hairpin, and watch this, the drag from the GTR could save Griff here, but oh, they're going to show the nose, but Hoggy holding on for now. I think Hoggy's being a bit over defensive into turn 1.
Yep, I think it's costing him time, too much time.
Yeah.
Just turn the rear view off and drive.
Yeah, he just needs to look forward and then look for the radar if Griff is up the inside, but it looks like Hoggy struggling to keep that Ricky Bobby inspired Nissan out of his mind and just defending really, really hard. 4.5 minutes to hold on, and looks like Hoggy might have a troublesome time to do so. I think it's only a matter of time before Griff can get through.
It's looking that way, isn't it?
Yeah, it's looking like a matter of when and not if.
Yeah, right place, right time.
Oh, and that's a mistake, and that's the right time. Yep, there we go. The pressure gets to Hoggy. Yeah, so easy to do here at Brands, and yeah, that is unfortunate. And Hoggy's snapping again, and yeah, that'll definitely be the end of that. It looks like we have a little bit of a battle further down, though, for the minor placing swooper. Is right on the back of Demon Boost, so it's Ford v Ford rivalry here.
Nick's just got through on Speed Racer as well, so he's making his way up.
Yeah, Nick's been on the move because he's been starting at the back. He wasn't doing quali.
Yeah, Nick's got a... he's very drugged up.
Yeah, yeah.
Very sore neck. So, yeah, he's...
For a man with a sore neck, he's doing very well.
Exactly.
He's going from like the back of the grid all the way up to top 6. It's really impressive. The two Mustangs, I mean, they were right behind each other when I clicked to them, and then it's like they get camera shy, and they and they back away from each other. As it looks like Nick is also getting away from Speed Racer since the overtake, so potentially, I think, as much as I was just saying with the cold temps, the tyres might not be struggling. There's a lot of drivers having snaps, so I think the tyres might still be having a little bit of a go-away period. Imagine if it was hot, though.
Yeah, I think by now in the race there's probably a lot of curbs and a lot of running in the grass here on this track. I think by this time of the race, I think you probably lost to half a pound of pressure in all of your tyres. You're probably losing a little bit of temperature plus tread depth, and it's just starting to get tricky, I think, with the cold temps.
Yeah, because like we're almost at that tipping point where it is that perfect track temp where you can drive as fast as possible, but it's almost at that tipping point where if you have low grip on your low pressure on your tires, you'll be stuck with cold tires, and then you don't have a lot of grip anyway. So I think it's like
exactly right, which is why it's a terrible track.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree. No, I was just saying before, I'm a bit 50-50 with Brands. I either love it or I hate it, and it depends on how I'm driving on the day. Because either I'm driving it really well and I'm really enjoying it because the laps are just hooking up, or I'm driving piss poor and I just throw it into the barrier every 2 corners. But I think it's a bit of a skill issue on my end, to be honest. I don't like racing it no matter what, though. It doesn't create good...
That's garbage.
Yeah.
It's pure garbage.
Maddie's gonna get heated in the chat.
That's okay. She can do that.
You put it on the calendar for her and she's not even racing. Jokes aside though, a minute to go here in race 3. Steve-O, you've not had the most successful night, but it must be good to, this is the second time you've been able to sit back and enjoy the product that you put together. Has it been good?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Great fun. It's good being able to pester these guys in the mid-pack and leave the guys up the front alone for a bit. I'm sure they're happy I'm gone.
Run a normal car and then give yourself 200 kilos of ballast, so at least you can keep up in the corners.
Yeah.
It's been good, but
It's not good, Matty. Just been watching the race from the sink.
Oh, well, yeah, that's definitely not ideal. As I think that this will be it then for Andrew Long. It will be. So, it's the slam here for Longy as he's going to cross the line. I thought there was one more to go, which is why I wasn't really talking about it, but Andrew Long crosses the line with another dominant victory here. The minus 70 kilos did its job, and he's got pole in all three, won all three, and fastest lap in all three races. So that is the Grand Slam here.
And some donuts. Well done,
Yeah.
Longy. That's a pretty good effort. Obviously aided by the big weight difference, but
Still have to not throw it in the grass. Yeah, it's a good effort. You don't see many of those in super sprints. Normally you see one person take out two, but you never see him take out all three. I think Maddie took out all three once.
I think it's only ever been done once.
Yeah, I think I remember Maddie taking out all three in the Mustang at one point. But I could be wrong. I don't remember. There's some donuts from Griff as well. He was able to get P2 every race of the night, and Hoggy P3 every race tonight, so the podium never changed. Consistency.
Well, he's got all the wins, but Griff's definitely limited the damage on the championship leaderboard there for sure.
Yeah, getting second in every one. I have a question. I was talking to Maddie about it, and she could only theorise, but how many championships do you have over the course of the last 22 seasons?
Oh, more than one?
Yeah. So
I put some stats up a while ago. I'll have to find them.
Yeah, because I was talking to Maddie about it, and I was trying to figure it out, because I was like, since season 18, so you won 19, and then 20.
We've got some stats here. Here we go. At the end of last season, we had 200 rounds, 312 races. 27 drivers have had a race win, 27 different drivers. 41 drivers have had a podium. There's been 6 different championship winners. And I think Longy's the only one that's got multiples. So do the math on that.
Green light, go, go.
Yeah.
So from 22, 6, should be 7 championships off of that. So I've won 15, I guess.
Maybe it is the right choice in
Why
car.
I'm the rider.
Yeah.
That's right. Let someone else have a turn.
Yeah.
But no, look, a lot of those have been very, very close as well. It hasn't been, me having my way all the time. A lot of those have been a handful of points deciding it. So,
15 championships. Lewis Hamilton, eat your heart out.
yeah.
Oh, double the champion. Double +1.
Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah. There we go. Stephen Rees, better driver confirmed. Anyway, on that note, depending on who you are, it's either a terrible disappointment or a great fact. But that is going to be all here tonight from Sensational TV. I've been Lindsay Model in the commentary box, and well, alongside me for a few minutes just to be here is Steve-O. So thank you for being here throughout race 3.
Welcome.
And that'll be all for Fargone Racing action here tonight. As next round we head off to Valencia for a 70-minute enduro. I absolutely adore that track, so I'm excited to see how you all go racing around there. But